Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B-Man, and I am live and on the move. Shout out to my brother Junior, the truth. What's good, you guys? It's Friday, the end of the work week for me, and I'm on my way to finish off this day so I can get to the weekend, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I hope that each and every one of you have had a prosperous week. If it's your end of work week day, may it be a blessed one. May you get through it with flying colors, and you can fly right on into whatever it is you do when you don't have that obligation, huh? Yeah. I was going to do a live stream last night on my Kung Fu channel, but Stormy B-Man got home and laid down, bro, and I was tired. Took a nap. By the time I woke up, it was about the time that my live would have been ending. So I was like, you know what? I'll just do a live and on the move in the morning to make up for the content in the library. But sometimes you got to listen to your body, man. And did you guys see my video that I uploaded yesterday's premiere about Samantha Warrington, who fought on the undercard of Shields versus Cruz Discern? You know, she was WBA junior lightweight, welterweight champion. And she was defending her title that she had since last summer. And she went back to her corner and she said she thought she was doing very well in the fight, had suffered no, known circumstances that she wouldn't continue. But she said she had a voice to tell her, don't go back out to fight anymore. And I take it that she's a spiritually sound and based person. So she's like, at first she said, well, I feel I could go. And that voice told her once again, don't go back out. So she told her coaches and trainers that, I'm not going back out. And everybody was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And she said, I shouldn't go back out. And turns out that her opponent is awarded the victory via 8th round TKO because she didn't come out for the 9th. She didn't answer the bell for the 9th. On the way back to the dressing room, she said that they went ahead and took her for her vitals and everything. She went to the hospital and they discovered a slight. Now she said this, these are not my words, these are hers. They discovered a slight brain bleed. And so with that, the doctors told her that was the best thing that she could have done, was not go back out there and continue to fight. Now the status of her career going forward is unknown at this time. There'll have to be follow-ups and things like that. But here we have someone who listened to that voice in their head and came out the better for it. Because oftentimes what we don't relate to, because the world is so spiritually disconnected from our Creator, God, our Lord and Savior, we are lost. We're like sheep lost in the wilderness and are vulnerable to all the predators, whether they be wolves, lions, man, and it's something to see where someone has a measure of faith and to be able to articulate it to us in this modern day and time, which is why I was compelled to do that brief video. And, you know, I'm proud to say I did it. It didn't get a lot of views, but, you know, I never do my content for views. If I did my content for views, I'd have shut this down 8 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But somewhere, somehow, someone is benefiting to a greater degree of what I do. And so that's why you see Stormy B-Man. It's not because I'm trying to win a popularity contest. It's not because I think I'm a know-it-all and want to share what I know. No, it's because I've been motivated and inspired, and I've spoken of that in the past, to come out and to offer up my take, what I have, you know, and I'm proud to do that. We got a few people have come into the building. Jose Diaz is out there. Del Riv, Royal Constrictor, Kamara the Stepping Razor. What's good with you all? Happy Friday to you guys. Appreciate you stopping in. So, yeah, that was my premiere video for yesterday morning. And I hope that Ms. Worthington is doing well, you know, for our entertainment and for their inspiration and aspirations. We never want to see anyone hurt. We never want to see anyone lose the opportunity to do what they do for a living and have restrictions, or have it clamped down where they can't go forward and do it more in the future. So I look toward this lady and her accomplishments and hope that all she'll need is some rest, and given some time with further testing, that she'll be able to return to the sport if that's what she so desires. Yeah. So the fighter that she lost to is from Argentina, another one of those Argentines that have a 16 loss record, but was able to hang in there. It was her veteran experience that kept her in the fight. But Worthington said that she felt that she was winning the fight. I didn't get a chance to go back and look at the scorecards. And that was not on the main card, because the main card had 3 fights from what I recall. And but the undercard was going on, I think it was on YouTube or something like that, the Zone's YouTube channel. But I'll tell you something, man, we've been inundated with so much boxing that I can't even get to my Kung Fu material, because I like to do that. But I will be doing more Kung Fu broadcasts, and now since I've got my Rumble gig up and going well and strong, there will be exclusive to Rumble. Yeah. And in doing that, it'll give me the opportunity to stay off these airwaves of Google, YouTube, who have a biased effort toward me, you know, and my channel and the community that I'm proudly affiliated with, the LDBC. So I just finished watching a video interview with Ed Hearn, and he's still crying and boo-hooing over Conor Benn having left the graces of Matchroom Boxing. And he has doubled down on his thoughts about Ben. Basically, he is saying that Ben stabbed him in the back. Well, These promoters have been stabbing fighters in the back for generations of the sport. And I don't feel for Hearn, because whatever he loses from Conor Benn no longer being in his stable of fighters, he's going to make it up on another end off of someone else, you know? Conor Benn is one entity. He's doing what's best for Conor Benn. So if signing with Zuffa Boxing gives him the ability to make more in one payday than he made in 2 fights, so be it. You know, he's at a stage where he should be able to make those type of decisions for himself. Do you actually feel that Hearn would have advised him to not take the deal with Zuffa, even though it's supposed to be a one-fight situation? They're never going to advise you to your best interest. They're going to advise you to their best interest. And that's something that they do consistently. Earlier this year, it was reported that Ben Whitaker left Boxer with Ben Shalom to go join Matchroom with Ed Hearn. Do you not think that Ed Hearn threw some money or some type of contractual offer to Whitaker that maybe Ben Shalom, because he's a smaller promotional company, that couldn't give Ben Whitaker at this particular time? Maybe after a few fights, you know, a re-signing, he could be put in a better position. But do you really think that Hearn and Whitaker didn't break Ben Shalom's heart? You see, Shalom is where Hearn was over 15 years ago. He's just an upstarting promotional company. Hearn had the benefit of his being built in due to his dad, who handed the reins over to him. But remember that $1 billion that he was supposed to have to invest to bring fighters to the DAZN network and to do different fights that were scheduled at that time to be big fights. Almost 20 years ago, he was trying to steal all the PBC fighters who wouldn't go with him, who wouldn't take his offers or deals. And he looked real shabby at that time, huh? And he never delivered the fight that he had promised those people. One of the biggest fights in this present era would have been the unification at the heavyweight division between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Hearn did everything in his power to ensure that those titles that Joshua had would not be jeopardized by the likes of either Wilder or Luis King Kong Ortiz. And I think there was one more fighter that escapes me at the moment at that time during that era when these guys were really hot, that would have made a difference had Joshua faced him. And see, those are the kind of things we have to pay attention to, because it's of sound record to know that in order to put on the best fights, there will be, especially depending upon which promoter is doing the show, you're going to have your hits and your misses. You're going to take your lumps. But the best thing to do is to work with people, you know, be cordial toward one another. And so when you do that, you have a rapport that even when you don't have a fighter on the top, you can always circle around and get the opportunity to do something in a future promotion and collaboration. Enter Turki Al-Sheikh, who was paying the fighters and promoters monies to get certain fights done that they otherwise would not put on. But in the meantime, as he scoped the landscape, he could see where they were really holding themselves back as far as a sport. And as he began to invest in platforms, Ring Magazine, The Zone, as he began to invest in places where fights could be held, New York, Saudi, the UK, what you began to see is consolidation was the name of the game when it came to Turkey. And he even got Matchroom and Queensberry to come together. He worked with trying to get PBC on board before they had really tanked out, and they were apprehensive. Bob Arum was smart enough to do some business with him. Golden Boy decided really not to, but at the same time, they did indirectly because of the investment in the Zone, and Golden Boy had made arrangements with the Zone. So now, as it stands, Dana White and Zuffa Boxing, which is Sila and TKO combined, a 60-40 arrangement between Turkey and the investors along with Dana White for Zuffa. And now they are really now running a monopoly themselves. And they're starting to get the fighters lined up because this is a more organized structure in the sport of boxing, and these promoters like Ed Hearn, they don't like it, but they've obligated themselves already. Turkey came in the back door, and while they were singing and jamming and dancing in the living room, he was cooking in the kitchen, Yeah, and he got them, y'all. He got them, and they mad to the extent that Frank Warren with Queensberry wants to sue for $1 billion. $1 billion. Salute to Corner Girl. Good to see you out there. Good morning. Grand rising to you. Yeah. Listen, man. $1 billion? And I love what Derek Chisora said. He said, if Frank Warren win, do the fighters get that money? Yeah. You see? Now, they can sue all they want to. But these promoters have been doing this to each other and to the fighters for generations. Yeah. But check this out. There's no way Frank Warren is going to win $1 billion settlement under this circumstance. Now, he might get a couple of $100 million, but even in getting that, it's far from what he's shooting for, right? And then when that dust settles, he still got to deal with the fact that Turkey got everything closed off. The Ring Magazine, the ratings, the gala, the advertising, the promotion of fights, all of this is going to mean a great deal as far as their infrastructure. Where will Queensberry be? Now, Warren is an older man, and he's got almost all the top heavyweights in his stable. But if they don't have a solid platform to fight on, if they can't get the solid coverage and ratings, oh man, the sanctioning bodies and guys like Warren. You see, y'all colonizers, you had a brown-skinned man come in there and do to y'all what y'all been doing throughout history, taking things away from other people, Yeah! How about that? It's beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. Yeah, man, I love it, bro. This is gonna get highly entertaining, people. Highly. And there's gonna be some mad suckers out there, huh? But I'm gonna tell you something. Did y'all hear that sound bite? I know my brother Drew Titan played it. I think 78 played it too. Where Hearn was talking about he loves Turkey Al-Sheikh. He probably clean his shoes if he asked him. The shoes ain't what you got to clean, my man. Yeah, huh? You're gonna have to clean that knob. Yeah, what you already doing, huh? You just didn't know because he slipped it in so quick on you, huh? It didn't even, you felt no pain. No pain. And you know why? Because he had plenty of lube. Don't the Saudis deal with oil? No diddy. Yeah. You see? They always say, when you call yourself digging a grave for somebody, huh? Dig too. You know why? Because you might find yourself laying there too, right next to him, huh? Or you might trip and fall in there, huh? Break your neck, and then you don't get out, but you're already laid to rest. Woo! I tell you, man, it's a cold game, ain't it? It's a cold game. And a case of the chickens coming home to roost, huh? We're seeing it. We're seeing it 1,000. And now they all crying, huh? Kleenex everywhere. They all out there, you know, suing and shit. I thought it was no suing in boxing, huh? Tell that to Frank Warren, who got that whole stable of heavyweights over there, and now don't nobody want to fight each other because they trying to figure out where they could get the best deal since Frank don't want to pay him, huh? Especially since he's suing for $1 billion, huh? And that ain't their money, huh? He should have been paying that $1 billion out to those men. You know what I'm saying? That's what he should have been doing. But no, huh? Mr. Warren, you know, listen, man. Every dog has its day. And if you listen very closely, you might hear Turkey Al-Sheikh over there playing Atomic Dog, huh? Bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, yeah! Man, you can't make this stuff up. I had said one day last week in one of my videos, the Exodus has begun, huh? And if you guys don't know what Exodus means, you don't have to look it up, because I ain't, STORMYBMAN ain't here to teach you everything. Yeah. But you better start listening. I keep telling folks, you don't tune in, you're going to miss something, huh? And when you miss the lesson, huh, there ain't no makeup. No. No makeup lessons, huh? Yeah. See, y'all laughing too, but I'm going to tell you, I said these things, huh? I said it. What I really like and admire is since there's so much corruption in the sport, they've decided to creep in and bring the groundwork, the foundation, for there to be some more structure in the sport. This move that Zuffa Boxing is going to do by eliminating 7 weight classes That's for the greater good of boxing. I'm telling you straight up right now. The greater good of boxing. Huh? Yeah, because 8 weight divisions is all you need. Anything outside of that is just people fighting at what I used to term it as artificial weight classes, because you got a guy who could squeeze his body down into a lower weight division like a bantamweight or something like that, a super bantamweight, like that Espinoza kid, right? The dude is like 6'1" and he's fighting way down there, you know, and he's rehydrating and coming back on fight night, beating up guys where he's literally 2 weight divisions bigger than them. What kind of foolishness is that, man? That stuff needs to end. It needs to stop. Sebastian Fundora. Does anybody ever ask, what does he rehydrate to? Huh? Because he can make 154, but he needs to be up there with Hamza Shiraz and them at a 168, if you ask me. Huh? Just because you look bony, look, bones have weight to them. Huh? Bones are heavy. Yeah. So what is he doing, bro? What is he doing? Get that dude out of there. We need to see him in a higher weight class and not 154. You know what I'm saying? .6'6", almost 6'8", down there beating up on these shorter dudes. That stuff needs to stop, man. It really needs to stop. Artificial weights. And they make, oh, he's a heck of a fighter. No, he's a bullying fighter. Huh? It'll take a special fighter to hand him his dinner, because someone who has the experience and wherewithal to deal with big guys like that, and there's not a lot of fighters out there like that, but there's a couple. Because the world-class guys, they will spar and get in the ring with various body types. You know what I'm saying? And when they do that, they gain the experience of gauging distance and stuff like that. Like when Brian Mendoza knocked him out, Brian Mendoza knocked him out as if he has fought big guys before. And I don't mean just sparring with them. You see, do you guys remember when Teofimo fought that taller kid in Nakatani, the Japanese guy? And he was like, oh, I don't want to fight no tall guys no more. This is the boxing business. You're gonna meet and face guys who are not, you know, the prototype for you to face. But what I really like is the fact that, again, we've had revelations about what a real weight bully is. And you have to say that guys like Fundora and Shiraz, who was at 160, they thought they were just going to stick him in there against Adames, but Adames knew how to fight a big, tall guy too. You see what I'm saying? And Adames had been in the gym sparring with the likes of Bud Crawford and, you know, several other world-class fighters. That makes a difference. Land of the 216, what's good with you? Great Friday morning to you. So yeah, this is what I just, you know, so Zuffa with their 8 weight classes, man, they're gonna make a heavy indentation in the sport with that. And you all are gonna have a greater appreciation, because you're gonna recognize the differences when guys are fighting in their natural weight divisions. You're not gonna see such lopsided fights. You're not gonna see guys missing weight on the scales and stuff like that, there's going to be penance. And that's all we could ask for. JJ, what's good with you? That's all we could ask for. Some equal ground, huh? And because there's going to be structure and everything, you know, these outsiders, these cartels and everything that try to weasel their way in so they can funnel money and wash money and rinse and repeat money throughout the sport, huh? These so-called allegiances that these sanctioning bodies have with these South American countries and all of that stuff, huh? I'm not protocol ass motherfuckers. Yeah, y'all day is done too. It's getting ready to end ugly for all of you, huh? It's gonna end ugly for all of you. Raping and pillaging fighters who have struggled in gyms and everything through injuries and separation from family and all of this, and you guys are reaping the proceeds every single chance you get. You're taking a fee and taxing them here and taxing them there, huh? It's according to the rules. Fuck your rules, huh? You're corrupt. Taxing people for fights that you ain't even sanctioning. What the hell is that? You bastard. Out here. People get tired of it. You know, listen, the little man is always gonna have a chance because God already knows the man's heart, and your heart is to deceive and to be greedy and everything. You're gonna get your comeuppance, and when it happens, it's gonna be just like sliding down a razor blade into an alcohol bath. Yeah. And that's it's due time. Y'all done had your season to mess over people. It's getting ready to change. The whole game is changing, huh? The whole game is changing. And you've been out here taking advantage of people and everything, lying too, telling people like, oh, well, these fees, they go toward the betterment and the health of and welfare for the fighters that need assistance and this and that. Gerald McClellan, where's your assistance with Gerald McClellan, huh? And what's happening with the fact that when we get, you know, drug testing, you're raising levels so guys can still cheat. You're raising the levels. What kind of foolishness is that? Well, there may as well not be drug testing if you're going to be raising the levels so your guys can get through. Your guys. What kind of foolishness is that? You ain't going to be able to do that over on Zuffa. Nope. Nope. And if a fighter doesn't want to get cheated, he could go over there to Zuffa. Huh? They got bonus incentives and everything. Fighter of the night. Fighter of the night. Knockout of the night. Bonus incentives. We've been seeing that on Pro Box TV bouts. And they can go and roll right up into the fold of Zuffa because they're already using the format. I tell you, a lot of people don't pay attention, man. They're too busy behind these certain individual fighters that are kind of like, you know, not doing anything, not facing anybody. That shit that Richardson Hitchens pulled is even worse than what Kid Austin pulled against Shakur Stevenson a year ago. It was worse. You made the weight and everything. The only thing to do is go to the fight, to the ring tonight to do your ring walk. Oh, but you sick. Yeah, you sick, all right. You sick in the head thinking that somebody gonna believe you and your bullshit. What kind of silly, communist shit is that? And you think that the sport is just gonna let you slide with that? Dude, your reputation is in the garbage can. And you talk all of that garbage out of your mouth. So nobody knows which end is coming out of, your rear or your mouth. It is equate to one another, and it all stinks. Richardson Hitchens. This is the kind of thing that needs to be said, and we've been talking about it. But there have been people against us coming to the channels and trolling and all of that. Look at how it's playing out. And all of these songbirds and sexperts that have been out here supporting all the wrong shit. And they ain't got nothing but doo-doo fingers now from what they've been holding, huh? Yeah. Curtis Robinson, what's good with you, brother? Yeah. But hey, it is what it is, huh? I intend to do a Friday night chop session today because I definitely didn't do my stream from last night. So we can talk about this more on the Friday night chop session. We got tomorrow, we got Emmanuel Navarrete taking on Eduardo Nunes. Let me tell you something, guys. That's a pretty damn good fight. What are they, super featherweight? That's a good fight, man. Because I got a video coming for that too. Hopefully I can get it out. I got a couple of finishing touches to put on it this morning, but hopefully I can premiere it by 8 a.m. Central Time this morning, my video on that fight. And then there's some fights out of the UK tomorrow as well. So listen, guys, I've arrived at my destination. I want to say thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Please don't forget to follow me on Rumble and support the brother. I'm out here trying to do the best I can, man. And I'm always going to keep it on the level. You know what I mean? Ain't no glazing over here. I'm going to tell the truth. You know, the truth hurts sometimes, huh? You ever bump your head? You say, damn. But guess what? Whatever you bumped your head on, the next time you come in that direction, what you do? You duck, huh? You get the hell out of the way, huh? You say you don't want to keep getting hit in the head. Only a dummy going to keep bumping their head, huh? Only a dummy. Yeah. So with that being said, I want to say thank you guys. Love you all. Hit that like button on the way out if you didn't on the way in. Share the video. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. And I'll catch you guys later this evening for the Friday night chop session. Have a great day.